Welcome to Pro Soccer Tactics Pro Goal Review Series. Today's video features Borussia Mönchengladbach versus Borussia Dortmund. A goal scored by Idrissou, the Cameroon international, beating Subotic 1v1 after receiving a long pass from a teammate who intercepted a pass from a Dortmund midfielder. Lots of lessons to be learned. This was last week's Bundesliga game on April 23rd, 2011. So let's go right to it. Let's examine how and why the goal was scored. Here's a schematic summary of the goal. DaSilva, the left midfielder, makes an optimistic pass into a general area here, intercepted by Arango, who sends Idrissou on for the 1v1 versus Subotic, and then the ensuing battle for the ball, and Idrissou goes on to win the battle and take the shot in the short side of the corner, beating Weidenfeller. But let's go into the reasons why this series of events led to the goal. Okay, the first part, we have DaSilva, who is not a starting midfielder for Dortmund. He sometimes comes in to fill in the last few minutes of the game. He's 33 years old, so he doesn't really fit into trainer Klopp's system for Dortmund, being heavily reliant on very young players, young 20-year-olds and such, and highly dependent on running up and down the field. So DaSilva doesn't quite fit the mold for Klopp, but he played in this game nevertheless. He was probably not used to the system as well as other players on the team. So here DaSilva, instead of passing to 10 or 11 or breaking down the left side, makes an optimistic pass into a general area. He does not target a specific person when he passes the ball. He just kind of like blindly kicks it into an area with no one particularly in mind. This leaves it open for Arango, who picks up the ball here just in front of the box, and he's then able to see a diagonal move by Idrissou into space, which he then connects. One of the things to keep in mind about this play is that DaSilva had several options in mind. Instead of blindly kicking it into a general area, he could have played a 1-2 with another forward, Lewandowski, or center forward or left wing here. So a pass, for instance, to Lewandowski would have been appropriate. If not, Lewandowski makes a cutting run here, and a pass could have been made directly to Lewandowski, making the cut, the diagonal slant. Another play would have been for DaSilva to have taken on number 7 in a one-on-one and sort of going around him along the left flank. He could have taken on this space right here and cut in towards goal around the right fullback. But instead, he elected to do the cross field pass. Another option he could have done is he could have gone cross field with an in-flight pass to the right wing. That would have worked as well. A nice high-flighted ball across to number 9 instead, or perhaps even a short pass back to a supporting midfielder. But Dortmund is not big on passing the ball back when they're attacking. When Dortmund goes on the attack, one notices that they have made up their mind to go forward, and they tend not to go back when they've made an advance into the attacking zone of the field. So the pass back to number 6 probably would have been a non-event, and It would not have been recommended by trainer Klopp. The second part that I'd like to, second slide here, emphasizes that Idrissou was very smart to have anticipated a pass play into this zone right here by Arango. He starts his run from the half-line area and heads towards this area and starts making the run in anticipation of the flighted diagonal pass along the left flank by Arango. So there was all this space available for Arango, and he made use of it. That's a very important play. When the defenders are up and they're concentrated in this part of the field and up, that leaves a lot of space behind them here in front of the goalkeeper, and that's exactly what Arango, the number 6, was taking advantage of, hitting this space right here with a flighted pass. The next step was for Idrissou to take on Subotic one-on-one, because it was a foot race, a 1v1 foot race, and the mistake that Subotic makes is he allows Idrissou to outmuscle him and to fight his way towards the ball. Subotic tries to slide in to get the ball, and he does a good job of making a clean slide tackle, but he mistakenly does not succeed in kicking the ball out. Priority would have been to kick the ball out to the sideline here. Instead, he allows Idrissou to pick up the ball after he loses the slide tackle, and then Idrissou goes on, and if you look at the video and pay attention, before Idrissou shoots the ball here to the short side of the corner to beat Weidenfeller, the goalie, he takes a brief look up to an oncoming forward who's running in. When Idrissou starts the foot race versus Subotic, the forward starts to run in and crosses the box into the penalty area. Before Idrissou shoots the ball, he sees this forward running in and takes a brief look up to the forward as if he were going to pass it to him back on the ground for a shot on goal. That keeps Weidenfeller centrally positioned, more centrally positioned than he would playing the short side. Okay, so Idrissou was very smart to notice that, to take advantage of the forward as almost like a decoy, and causing the goalie to keep him in mind instead of playing solely the short side. So that's what gives him this short side open. This is this on-running forward who's being tracked also by another Dortmund defender. But Idrissou takes a peek up to look at him before shooting the ball, and he makes a clearly beautiful play there. His determination, persistence, and speed in succeeding to win the ball and then to pick the short side. That was a very brilliant play by Idrissou. Okay, so let's go over some of the defensive lessons that we learned from this play by Dortmund, and bearing in mind the fact that Dortmund doesn't give up very many goals at all and only gave up 19 goals this season, so this is a big deal for them. Number 1, DaSilva makes the horizontal switch pass, which is fatal in the middle of the field. Okay, so many goals are scored when midfielders or defenders pass the ball optimistically across the field without having a direct target or a free target in mind. Whenever you pass the ball, if you're coming out of the back especially, this area is very dangerous. The problem with this was that everybody was caught moving forward, and this is somewhat of a back pass, if you will, in the sense that everybody in Dortmund is moving forward, the defense is up, and that leaves a counterattack vulnerability. So when you're making a pass from here in or coming out of the back, it's very, very dangerous to pass it across the field without having a free target teammate in mind. Okay, so do not be very careful about when you pass the ball across field to target a specific player, teammate in mind. That's a huge mistake and the cause of this whole goal for Dortmund. Okay, number 2, another defensive lesson is that we notice is to consider the options before doing a cross pass like we saw the dangerous horizontal switch pass. Consider other options like playing the ball straight ahead, or the flighted switch pass over to the right wing. DaSilva should have considered, as mentioned earlier, the pass to Lewandowski, diagonal here, or a slanted run here, and the pass forward to Lewandowski here, perhaps the overlap, or lastly the flighted ball to his right wing. That would have been the preferable play. Another lesson that we learned, that the sweeper, in this case Subotic, should always show the opposing attacker the sideline and stay goal side. So in this play, Subotic really had to catch up to Idrissou the whole time. He was never fully behind him on the defensive run. The slide tackle, as mentioned, was necessary as his last resort, but he failed to clear the ball. He really should have cleared the ball outwards towards the sideline, not towards his own goal, as he did. A very important point to keep in mind when slide tackling and tackling in general for defenders, this has to do with the laws of the game, and as an experienced referee myself, I can tell you that you hear a lot of fans and commentators on TV incorrectly saying that tackles are almost always fair as long as the defender plays the ball. You always hear that phrase, they played the ball, therefore it's not a foul. And that's a lot of malarkey. It's really misinformation, because the law book says nothing about a defender playing the ball, therefore the foul is justified. If you play the ball as a defender or anyone trying to tackle the opposition with the ball, if you play the ball and take out the player at the same time and cause a foul in the process, it is still a foul. Okay, so even if a defender plays the ball during the attack, he may be called for the foul. If the opponent is taken out by any other means, that may be considered to be an infringement or a violation. This is especially true in and around the penalty area, where fouls called against defenders result in PKs or in dangerous free kicks. Okay, so it is very important when you play the ball and try to go for the ball, go quickly in, slide in quickly, and try to make it seem as though you're avoiding trying to take out the player, the opposing attacker, quickly. So lessons from this law of the game tip is that defenders should stay on their feet and play the ball primarily, not the player. Avoid pulling shirts or holding at all costs, because that generates free kicks against you, and referees will, chances are, will call that. Slide tackles should be used only as a last resort. Try to stay on your feet as much and as long as possible as a defender, but since Subotic had really no other choice in the matter, he had to slide in. His only failure in this was to not get a piece of the ball towards the sideline. The tackles should be swift, to the point, and directed at the ball, not at opponent's legs or body parts. Okay, so jump in quickly and get to the ball and disrupt the control of the ball by the forward, but do not try to take out any physical part of the body when you do so. This minimizes the chance of being called for a foul and accumulating yellow or red cards. Okay, so this is very, very important, crucial for defenders to know. Crucial point. I hope you've enjoyed this Pro Soccer Tactics Pro Goal Review Series lesson of the goal that Idrissou scored against Dortmund. And on the way out, just like to thank you for watching, and let's take another look at it a few more times, and good luck with your playing going forward.